Coming up tonight on the News at 5, Helena public school leaders have confirmed their first COVID-19 cases of this school year. We'll tell you how the cases are being handled and what's next. Plus, the staff at the Montana VA received some high praise today from the Secretary of Veterans Affairs.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Andy Curtis, and thank you for joining us. Well, the state recorded another 306 cases of COVID-19 today. Over the past 7 days, Montana has seen more than 1,700 cases, and right now there are 3,400 active cases with 158 people hospitalized and 175 COVID-related deaths. The 7-day average positivity rate for tests, that's the percentage of positive tests found in each batch of tests, is hovering around 3.5%. Helena public school leaders have confirmed their first COVID-19 cases of this school year. As of this afternoon, they reported 3 cases associated with students at Rossiter, Central, and Broadwater elementary schools, and 1 associated with a staff member at Rossiter. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian talked to district leaders about how they're handling these cases.
Helena Public Schools Superintendent Tyler Ream says the district has been working closely with Lewis and Clark Public Health to investigate possible COVID-19 cases. He says their goal is to be as transparent as possible while protecting privacy.
If a parent is saying this is a positive associated with my child confirmed by a health official or a health professional, then we consider that to be confirmation.
Ream says after public health confirms a case, they'll determine whether any other students or staff are close contacts who need to quarantine for 14 days. Ream says he understands families may be frustrated at the limited information the district releases, but that they will be informed if they need to take additional steps.
If they're contacted by somebody with county health that says your child is a contact, then that is the case. If not, then they have deemed that there is no contact associated with that particular family or any family.
Ream says the district hopes measures like smaller in-person classes and mandatory masking will reduce the spread. He says so far they believe all of the cases were contracted outside school.
And that's something that, again, we can't necessarily stop from occurring, but we want to make sure that within the school we're doing everything we can to reduce virus transmission.
After these cases, district leaders again emphasized the importance of wearing masks at school and of families checking their kids for COVID symptoms and keeping them home if they're symptomatic. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Now, as of last week, the East Helena School District had reported 5 positive COVID-19 cases, 4 among students and 1 involving a staff member. The operator of the Crossroads Correctional Center in Shelby says 26 inmates at the prison have tested positive for COVID-19. According to a news release from the prison operator Core Civic, the prison tested 196 inmates. Of the more than 24 who tested positive, none showed symptoms of the coronavirus. Prison officials conducted the testing of inmates and detainees on Thursday and Friday of last week. Core Civic says inmates who tested positive for the virus or who may have come in contact with positive cases have been quarantined. The company did not say whether any prison staff had tested positive for COVID-19. The 700-bed Crossroad Correctional Center is the state's only private prison. A pretty good way to start off the work week, I'd say, and to either confirm or shoot down what I just said, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
No, I'm confirming that for a change here. Yeah, really nice weather out there across the state. And if you were stuck in work all day long, don't worry. The rest of the week and the weekend will be very similar to today, so not too many complaints from that. But we're in a pattern here where we've got high pressure kind of over the western United States, over the eastern Pacific, and that jet stream, which was pointed directly at Montana last week, is moving up and over the top of the state. And we may have a couple little disturbances coming down here, but what you see right here is technically called an omega block because it's like the Greek symbol omega here. And this blocking pattern will persist again all the way into October, which is only a couple of days away. But what a week here we've got with mostly sunny skies and mostly very comfortable temperatures. However, It has been dry as a bone, and it will be dry as a bone. No raindrops anytime soon. And because of that, fire season could last late and a little longer than we'd all like. I'll have more on the full forecast coming up.
Thanks for that, Curtis. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Robert Wilkie was in Big Sky Country today, where he praised the work of Montana VA staff. MTN's John Riley reports.
On Monday morning, Secretary Wilkie joined Senator Daines for a tour of the VA Medical Center at Fort Harrison.
I have a simple mission here, and that is to thank the VA employees for everything that they have done, not only for the veterans of Montana, but for the people of the United States.
Montana VA staff have been assisting with COVID response across the country. They've assisted in 46 states, including some of the hardest hit areas, like the Navajo Reservation. The staff of the VA were also recognized for their commitment to their patients.
The approval ratings here at Fort Harrison for health care are 93%. There is nothing like it in the entire United States when it comes to patient satisfaction.
Wilkie and Daines also addressed the struggles of mental health and suicide the veteran population has faced, and praised the Montana VA for increasing their behavioral health staff and their work on expanding telehealth.
That's why it's so important to continue to move forward here on telehealth. It's going to be a critical part of how we address this issue of veteran suicides.
In addition to telemedicine, the VA will also begin rolling out their electronic health record system next week after an 8-month delay. We still don't know when that service will be available in Montana, but that rollout will begin in the Pacific Northwest and work its way across the country. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
And a new wildfire has burned a huge area just north of San Francisco. Thick smoke and a tunnel of flames lining this road as sheriff's deputies led an evacuation effort in Napa Valley. Now, the fire exploded overnight, fueled by dry brush and timber and pushed by winds. It is the latest in what has been an overwhelming fire season across the West. Since the beginning of the year, CAL FIRE working more than 8,000 wildfires, and they have scorched more than 3.7 million acres.
We're just trying to keep up with what's burning and trying to get ahead of it, but we just can't get ahead of it.
You combine the heat, you combine the dryness, you combine all the other activity that has led to this historic wildfire season.
Since August 15th, 26 people have died and more than 7,000 structures have been destroyed in California. Well, when we come back, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz will have a complete check of your forecast. And later, Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison will recap yesterday's Montana Supreme Court debate.
Hey Montana, I'm Phoenix O'Connor from Daybreak, and I'm here with my daughter Betty, and I want to talk to you about something very special. It's called reading. I've been reading to her since she was just a little baby, but now she reads to me. So Betty, when you pick a book off the shelf, what are your favorite books you like to read?
I like to read dog books and animal books at the same time. And I would love to be a veterinarian when I grow up, and someday I would love to take care of your animal.
Well, it's all through the Howard Scripps Foundation that's all made this possible. It's called Give a Child a Book campaign. We want you at home to be a part of it. Go to KTVH.com to find out how you can come in and join in and help out our Montana community.
Weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. What a beautiful day across the state here. Get those cameras ready. I think it should be a pretty sunset out there this evening with these high clouds working overhead. 72 degrees room temperature outside right now. A little breeze picked up, nothing like Saturday. Boy, that was a real windy day across the state. What a sky from Geyser looking at the high woods here in Great Falls. 71 degrees, southwest wind gusting up to about 30 miles per hour right now. 60s and 70s here across the state, kind of upside down a little bit because it's warmer the farther north you go in the state. Here we have a little Chinook that is going on. Cutbank 72, Havre, warmest location on the map at 74 degrees. And there's some of that wind right there, that downsloping wind compressing the air, creating a little heat. It's almost like friction, and we'll have that wind continue, especially out across the prairies here through the overnight into tomorrow. Tomorrow, a wind shift will occur in the afternoon as a minor front drops into the state. A minor front that will only drop the temperatures a few degrees as we go from Tuesday's highs into Wednesday's highs. So it's minor events that will be going on here this week, but overall, really fantastic weather. Hardly any wind on Wednesday unless you get all the way out into far eastern Montana. Now, technically, wildfires still active. However, none of these fires, including the Bridger Foothills fire, has shown really any growth. They're still a little smoldering. They are not out, so technically they are still active and not going to get any help as far as any rain in Montana or throughout the west here this week. A lot of rain, much cooler air into the eastern part of the country. Look at California, parts of Oregon here, that color, red flag warning. So still very dangerous conditions there as far as their historic wildfire season goes. So once again, technically still some active fires here in Montana, although they're not really producing much in the way of smoke. Our air quality should be good this week, but where there is a lot of smoke, California and just off of the coast, and we'll have to watch maybe later this week into this weekend if some of this smoke starts heading up back into the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies. I do not believe that it'll be anywhere near as bad as what it was about 2 weeks ago when we had that week full of unhealthy air. Here's what happened. I showed you that high pressure over the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies, and watch how everything goes up and over the top of Montana. A lot of the west will be very dry here this week. Here's that little minor front coming through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, but still looking at mostly sunny skies. Thursday, mostly sunny. Friday, dry and warm, and heading into this weekend, look at that precipitation to our north and east and to our north and west, and hardly any rainfall anywhere close to Big Sky Country anytime soon. For tonight, not as cool as last night. We'll still have a little wind up here that will keep the temperatures a bit warmer through the overnight hours into Tuesday morning. A few spots may get down here into the 30s. Here's the forecast for tomorrow, though. A warm day. Look at these high temperatures up near 80 off of the Rocky Mountain front, up there around Conrad, Choteau, Great Falls at about 80 degrees. Wind shift will occur later in the afternoon, and we'll take some of these temperatures down as we get into Tuesday here, but enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the warmth. Temperatures near 80 around Helena for tomorrow. Here's the 7-day forecast, and look at those numbers. Yeah, a little cooler on Wednesday, but still above average temperatures will continue all this week and into this weekend. There may be a little cloudier start on Friday, but a sunny finish. And here's the 7-day forecast for Great Falls. 80 degrees tomorrow. A noticeable drop as far as the temperatures go on Wednesday, but we're back into the 70s for the end of the week through the weekend. Just watch that fire danger when the wind picks up Sunday and Monday.
Well, the candidates for Montana's only contested state Supreme Court seat on the 2020 ballot mixed it up this past weekend in a debate broadcast on MTN's Face the State. MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison has more on the debate between Supreme Court Justice Lori McKinnon and her challenger, Helena attorney Mike Black.
Black didn't wait long to challenge McKinnon in Sunday's debate, saying some of her opinions have favored landowner interests that campaigned for her election to the High Court in 2012.
When public uses come up against other property rights, she has consistently ruled against public rights to use property with respect to access.
McKinnon, who's running for a second 8-year term on the court, said she had nothing to do with the group that supported her, and that she decides cases based on the law and the facts before the court.
I had no association at all with the independent expenditures that came into the election in 2012. And Mr. Black is implying that my vote is bought as a sitting justice. That's a pretty strong accusation to make.
Black also said he believes Montana's unique constitutional right to privacy has made the right to an abortion settled law in the state, and asked if McKinnon agreed. McKinnon said Black should know that no ethical judge would answer that question, and thus prejudge a case before it's argued.
You have to look at the case that comes in front of you, review the arguments. There's always nuances to everything, and I would never say how I would rule in a case in the future.
McKinnon said her 8 years of experience on the High Court make her the best choice, and that she doesn't bring politics into any of her decisions.
I'm not a political person. I'm not a politician. I have never contributed to any campaign, and I think that fair and impartial nature is absolutely critical to a justice on the Supreme Court.
Black said he has experience that very few of the current Supreme Court justices have, working on complex cases representing wealthy and non-wealthy clients.
What I bring to the court is somebody who has fought it out in the trenches against some of the best lawyers in Montana and outside of Montana. There's nobody on the court that has the type of civil litigation background that I have on complicated cases.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
This weekend, our series of MTN debates continues with the race for Montana's governor. Democrat Mike Cooney and Republican Greg Gianforte take center stage with our panel of reporters, including Jay Cohn, Jill Valley, and Mike Dennison. Watch Saturday night at 6 on KTVH or with KTVH streaming apps for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Android. And here's some good news. Spending a few minutes outside could actually make you more productive at work. Psychologists say as little as 20 minutes outside can actually make a person more productive and help them focus better. It can also help a person generate better ideas. A new survey showed 63% of people felt better about themselves and more focused after getting some fresh air. 40% of people said they even try to break a little sweat outside at some point during the workday. And MIT researchers want to know if they can plant ideas into dreams. Scientists used 25 participants in the study. The participants recorded a prompt that reminded them to think of a tree before taking a daytime nap. Sleep monitors alerted scientists when each participant reached a very rare semi-lucid dream state. The pre-recorded prompts were played, and 68% of the time, participants reported some kind of tree appearing in their dream. Interesting stuff. And here's some more interesting stuff. Coming up next on the News at 5, a man is alive today thanks in part to the quick thinking and actions of two local women. We'll tell you his story coming up next.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back, everybody. A man is recovering tonight after a local woman and her mother-in-law likely saved his life. The man was having a medical emergency in the middle of the road. MTN's Coulter Anstad has the story.
Driving home from a night on the town Sunday, Tina Raines and her daughter-in-law saw a flashing light coming from a cell phone when they got to the intersection of 5th Avenue North and 4th Street North.
It was like a signal to us. And we were like, this is kind of weird.
What they saw next was shocking.
My daughter says, Ma, there's something in the road. And I said, oh, it looks like a tarp because it's direction work.
Nope, it was a man.
It was a man laying there having convulsions. He had 2 seizures back to back.
Raines and her daughter-in-law say the man's family had been trying to find him for hours.
2 vehicles almost did not stop.
Almost hit him. So I put my car and put my hazard on.
A retired registered nurse, Raines, ran to try to help the man while her daughter-in-law called 911.
His whole face was blood. All over down on his hands. He had cuts all down on his right here.
The man's family was on the phone, so Raines was able to tell them what was going on and get them to the scene. On top of that, Raines and her daughter-in-law were not taking their usual route home Sunday night. They say that's no coincidence.
The Lord told us there was something there. It's something there. Hey, click, click, and it sure clicked in our heads, and we felt it right here in our gut, and Sean was right there.
In Great Falls, Coulter Anstad, MTN News.
Now, they would like to know how the man is doing and are asking the family to please contact them and give them an update. You can find their contact information in this story on our website, ktvh.com. And we'll be right back after this.
When we welcome our West Coast viewers back to the fire lines, a new fire emergency sweeping through California wine country and what it's already taken. Also, we'll take you to the place tens of thousands of people are already receiving COVID vaccinations when we see you back here tonight.
See you back here at 10.